I am very excited today to have two of the amazing young singers of Hinge Point to talk with this morning. And I really appreciate your time in sharing that with me. I'm Dr. John Skidmore, performance psychologist. And one of the things I love to do is talk to performing artists to find out what they do to bring their best to their performing. And so here I'm speaking with Callie and Candy. And let me just start with Candy. What's one of the things you do that you feel is most important for you or most effective for you in helping you bring your best performing self to whatever you're doing as a performer?
Well, I would say the thing that helps me the most is focusing on God. I love to pray before any time I perform or record or anything like that. Just involving God and remembering it's all about, for our group, sharing His message and sharing His love. Keeping focus on that helps me do whatever I need to do.
Hmm, wonderful. How about you, Callie?
I'm similar. I love involving God. I think that practicing and putting as much into it as I can and as a group as we can, getting together whenever we can. I mean, just giving our all in that way, and then asking God to make up the difference and to do the things that we can't do and to help us in the ways that we can't do for ourselves. I think that combination of as much effort as you can do and then asking God for help really comes together to make it the best it can.
Oh, well, thank you. Um, Tell me how, as a group, you guys got started. I know you're sisters.
Yeah.
That's a starting point. But how did you like
Yes,
start?
yeah, that's how the band met.
Yeah.
But we just always grew up loving music. Since we were really little, we'd put on little plays together and things like that. We just always loved singing together. And then as we got older, we realized we can kind of do harmony together, and we started playing into that. And then during COVID was when we started our group officially. We had
Okay.
all the time in the world, and we're like, hey, if we're ever gonna really pursue this and go at this is the time. And we also felt like God was kind of guiding us in that time to start it.
Oh, how wonderful. How fun. Um, as you look at the journey that you're on, um, what's it been like to go from, because here you're three sisters growing up and suddenly COVID happens and it's like, wow, we're doing something. You're doing some amazing things. Describe that journey a little bit, would you please? What's that journey been like for you?
Well, it makes me think of a time during this actually, a lot of our story happens during the COVID pandemic stuff. But
Yeah.
I remember a time before we had started our band, but during that period when our school was shut down and church was closed down, and just during that crazy time, I remember just sitting there thinking, like, the world is over, like everything's just coming down at once. Like, is there like what's the future gonna look like? And I just remember those questions and those worries, and I would have never dreamed that, like, what, 5 years later we would be like singing and performing and recording songs. And that's just been a good reminder to me that sometimes in the moment you're in, you can't really see what the future is going to be like, but just you'll always just have to take the next step and do the next right thing and just keep trying every day. And it's amazing to see that God can take you places you didn't know you would go. It's
Wonderful. Wonderful. As you look to the future, what kinds of things do you see?
I hope we keep performing. That's honestly one of my favorite aspects of what we get to do. I hope we can just keep reaching more and more audiences and so keep writing. I think the writing the music and then being able to perform something that you worked on and started just from a little seed, like it's super cool.
Yes.
Just lots of performing.
Yeah, and songwriting.
Do you have anything interesting coming up soon? What's your next big performance?
Ooh, summer's our busy time. We're gonna be doing a lot of festivals, Peach Days, Swiss Days, Freedom Festival in Provo.
Some stuff up in Idaho.
Yeah, some stuff in Idaho. We're kind of spreading out a little bit, which is fun. Yeah, those performances. We also are hoping to release an album pretty soon that we've been working on. So just
Do
to
you have
kind
a
of,
release date for that?
I think we're releasing our one song we're gonna release first, I think in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks.
Yes, maybe like the beginning of June, end of May, and then after that the album will come shortly. So early summer.
Early summer. That's wonderful. Those are great goals to have and great things to see. Like you said, that seed, just planting that seed and see it growing and getting bigger and bigger and bigger that way. Wonderful. You know, as you look at your own personal talent development, what instruments does everybody play? I'm not sure who plays the guitar.
Yeah, so that's actually a fun question. When we started, none of us played any instruments. So we actually just started out as a vocal trio, just with our harmonies and stuff. And then we realized how much fun live instruments adds, how much energy that adds to a performance. So that's actually what we're working on right now. I've been learning the guitar and also keyboard, and so I've gotten to play the keyboard in a couple of shows, and then
Yeah, I've been learning the bass guitar, which has been so fun.
Okay.
and then our other sister plays the guitar. So
Okay. Well, that's certainly a piece of the performance experience and things that you can, keep adding to what it is you're doing. And so it's fun. I thought you were going to say it was the drums, Candy, that you're going to go after the drums. So,
Yeah, I wish that would be so fun.
yes.
oh, how fun. As you look at the kinds of things that have challenged you, what kind of challenges you've run into as you've been pursuing your goals and your dreams performing?
You
go ahead.
I think as Christian artists, we sing a lot about Jesus, and sometimes people don't want to hear that, and that can be kind of tricky. I mean, we've run into like wanting to perform at a certain like festival or venue, and they want us to not sing as much about Jesus, and that's kind of hard because that's our whole goal, is that we want to spread that message. So that's been a little bit of a challenge, is finding opportunities where we can share our testimonies and sing about him. And yeah, just making that work and finding the right people who want the message we're trying to offer.
Wonderful.
Ooh, another challenge I feel like we had more at the beginning. We kind of overcome this, but starting out, just when you have an idea for a song or something like that, I feel like it's easy to question, like, is this going to be something people like? Is this going to like bring value? But I feel like we've been able to see how our songs can impact people, and it's gave us more confidence to, when we have an idea and kind of believe in it, to run with it, and it turns into something really neat.
How fun. Well, let me just kind of turn the tables here. What questions might you have for somebody like me? I'm a performance psychologist. I get to help people bring their best music to their stage. Any questions you might have for me?
Yeah, well, I was curious about your musical background. I know that earlier, you had said that you have a musical background, a musical family. Like, what's that like?
Well, I was the youngest of five. My mom had a master's in fine arts, played the piano. She sang, she taught voice lessons and piano lessons, then did lots of community music, lots of community choir kinds of things. And being the youngest, all my siblings played instruments, violin, piano, trumpet. And so that was just part of our life. And we were always doing like family programs. Sounds like you kind of know how that lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And so all through, like junior high and high school, I was in the band, I was in the choirs. I went on to college and had a vocal scholarship. So that was fun. And so that took care of my bachelor's degree in psychology. And then I'm now working on a master's degree at Brigham Young University in counseling. And I'm singing with their premier performing choir, University Singers. And suddenly I saw all the psychology stuff over here, like connect with all the music stuff over here. It's like, that's the stuff I've been wishing I understood and knew my whole life.
Wow.
And so from that point, it blows me away to say I did my first music performance workshop in 1986. Like, that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. And I've been working on this stuff ever since, and went on and got my doctoral degree in clinical psychology. But my dissertation was on the experience of the peak performance with musicians. And I've just been developing programs and materials and things. And I'm just really excited to be able to take what I'm doing to a whole nother level right now.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
A lot of
really
fun. And I'm having a lot of fun right now because I'm actually singing in a community choir that I've never done before. So I'm just enjoying that. So
That is awesome.
yeah.
Super cool. I also was kind of curious, what's the biggest thing that you've seen as like a correlation between music and psychology? What's like the biggest thing that kind of drags people down or like is a hard challenge, kind of headwind for them? What's like the main thing that kind of stops people?
Oh, what a question. You know, as I'm thinking that through that question, it's really their fear of making a mistake, the fear of it not going right, the fear of it not being accepted. And as soon as we get in that place of fear, we're no longer thinking of the gift we have to give, the message we have to, share, the song we want to sing. And so it creates a sense of doubt. I've been talking to a lot of performers lately that they have a thing I call performance dread. Like they've developed this great relationship with performing. They love performing, but at the same time, they like dread it. They hate it. They worry about it. They get all stressed out about it. And it seems to be robbing them of the fun that they could have. And so recognizing the sense of how can I have fun doing this? And how can I enjoy this? And how can I be willing to put myself out there? And, sometimes it lands really well. Most of the time it lands fine. Sometimes it doesn't land so well. But how I manage that. So that's probably one of the biggest issues I've been running into right now is the lack of what I call performance skills. I had a chance just to talk to a young woman who has her doctoral degree in piano performance. And I had her fill out an assessment. And it was just really interesting for her to realize that anything that showed up negative was really describing a skill deficit, not a problem, not something wrong or bad about her. It's like there's a skill here that you're missing right now. So in the obvious sense, if you're really anxious pre-performance, well, you're missing the skills to manage that level of activation. That kind of thing. And so that's the kind of stuff I do as I coach people, as I help them develop the mindset and the skills to really step into that, performer that they want to be.
Wow, that's
That's
super
really
interesting. I
cool.
bet that's cool to kind of see how everything connects and works together. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is a lot of fun.
Cool. So how does that feel to like see an artist come in and then see how you can help them have like the right mindset and everything, like to see them progress and be able to just get in that flow and shine? Like, what is that like to see?
Oh, Candy, I love the word shine. I really love that word because we all have that light. We all have that gift. We all have something we want to share. And when we can bring it and we're out there shining on stage, the message we're giving is just so much more powerful. And so it really is a lot of fun to work with somebody who's in this place of, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. This is too hard. Should I give this up? I'm hating this. To like, oh, I've got the skills now to share what I want to share. And so I see doors open. I see people stay on their stage. I see them step forward in ways that they didn't even think possible. I'm coaching somebody, and a year ago, I asked her what her goals were. And she was talking about her goals. I said, well, can you think a little bigger than that? She goes like, perform at the Bluebird in Nashville. And she did that last week. And so it's like that is so rewarding and so exciting to be able to see that and to really just shift the perspective out of am I a good enough musician into these are the skills that I need, and boy, let's see how these skills will take me forward.
That is amazing.
It is fun.
That's super cool. Wow. I just thought of one more question.
Yes.
What would be your biggest advice to someone who wants to do music, who wants to perform, but is like scared and not super confident? What would you tell them?
Well, first off, I'd say almost every musician starts out in that place. because what they do is they take it so personally. And so why are we scared to perform? Well, we're going to go out there and make a fool of ourselves. It's going to be embarrassing. We're going to do something wrong. Somebody's not going to like it. Well, it's really recognizing that, okay, as we step out there, this is our journey. And, to take those opportunities to shine and to learn how to shine, because sometimes you have to walk through a lot of mud before you're going to shine. I mean, you just have to walk through whatever you got to walk through. And so, if this is your journey, you get to own every part of it. You get to claim it. And as you run into stuff, you find the support, you work through it, and you're going to run into all kinds of stuff. Some of it is expected. Some of you don't even know what, life is like that. We're going to run into stuff we had no idea we're going to run into. But to be able to start to say, okay, how can I move through it? And this brought up to my mind, one of the peak performance skills I often talk about that most people would never really consider like a peak performance skill. And that is the art of grieving. In other words, we will experience different losses, struggles, challenges, setbacks. And we got to learn how to get through those quickly, or we get stuck in them. And often that requires grief and grief work. So I just kind of throw that out there as kind of an unusual peak performance skill that every artist has got to figure out, is how do I get through the stuff that did not work the way I wanted it to?
That's a really cool.
Yeah.
thought of that.
Wow.
Well, another question.
Yes.
Like, perform at lots of festivals and things where there's a lot going on. It's kind of busy. There's lots of different things that can take people's attention and focus.
Like they're eating hot dogs.
I know, yeah. If there's a hot dog, like
Yeah, I mean, really. I mean,
exactly. Like, what's your best tip for like captivating an audience and grabbing their attention and like having them see this is something I want to turn my focus to?
okay. Well, you're in a difficult position because most of them aren't there just to hear you or see you.
Hmm.
Okay. And so you get to do your stuff in terms of what you find is engaging, how you talk to your audience, how you connect with them. And don't be afraid to do that, for one. Talk to them, connect with them. The second one is it's really about the energy you want to project out there. And that's where you have to set yourself up pre-performance and start to say, okay, tonight, this show, I'm going to shine. Now, if you're in a space, you're shining. And again, Candy, I love that word. You're out there shining. That's going to land. That's going to connect with those who want to receive that or are able to. And so if you're up there shining and suddenly you go like, oh, that guy's not interested. This guy's doing this. She's doing what's going on there. It's like, that's going to take you out of your mental game. You're not going to be shining on stage. And so you get to be up there and saying, okay, my goal is to bring this energy and this excitement, and it's going to land wherever it lands. And you have no control over that. And there'll be some there that will be touched by it and moved by it and connect with it. Others are going to be like, not my jam, not interested in this stuff. Okay, it's just, okay, can we go now? Right in the middle of a song, one of the most important part of your lyrics, what you feel so passionate about, they just like get up and walk away. And so you've really got to practice that whatever they do doesn't matter.
It's a really good tip.
One of the things I do in my performance psychology class, it's some people have accused me of this as like, well, isn't this mean? But it's like, no, this isn't mean. This is like real. I'll have like 3 or 4 students volunteer to perform, and they go out in the hall. They'll come in, and then while they were out there, I handed out a piece of paper to everybody. Some of them made paper airplanes. Others like turned into like paper balls. As soon as they started performing, they start throwing stuff at them. Now that may sound like terrible, but at some point, every single one of them had to decide what they're going to do. And so that would really be my next suggestion there. So you're on stage and you see something happen that you can't control. You see something that's, what's going on. Decide very quickly to just shine in that moment. Like, this isn't something I'm going to be upset about. You're not going to think this is not good enough. No, just shine. Just get back in the singing of it. I loved it when one student, she literally, as she was singing this aria, started to like gesture the paper balls and the airplanes out of the sky as she was singing.
Oh my gosh.
And so she just brought that right in to what she was doing. And so that's what you get to do when you're on stage, and they're just not all totally like, wow, these guys are amazing. You know.
Oh, that's good. That's
That's
great.
really fun.
Oh, fun. Well, our time is up for today, and I'm just glad that you took a few moments, and so glad that I could get to meet both of you. And I wish you the best in this trio, these beautiful, what beautiful work you're doing. I certainly enjoyed, listening to some of your YouTube songs this morning, and really just feeling your passion, your excitement as you are doing that. So, as I often do, Candy, what's one of your big dreams? What's something you just like, just sounds really big right now to you as a performer?
Someday I just want to play a show where everybody like is there feeling the spirit, wanting to worship God and where they like know the words. I want to get to a point where we have songs that bring people to God in such a powerful way that they're just singing it and like I picture like uh amphitheater, like do you know the Red Rocks amphitheater? I would love to play there and just have everyone like worshiping Jesus in a really powerful way. That's one of my big dreams that would be really cool to see.
Wonderful. How about you, Callie?
Oh, I would love our songs to be able to play on some big radio stations so that a lot of more people can hear it and feel that message and feel the spirit. We play on some smaller radios, which is really cool. It's really awesome to see how God uses that, but I think it would be amazing to get on some bigger ones that more people listen to so that that light can spread to even more people.
Wonderful. Well, I just hope and wish and pray that that will, those dreams, those prayers will be answered, that those wishes will be answered for you, because that's just a wonderful thing to be able to do. One of my favorite sign-off kinds of things is a very simple phrase: risk, fail, risk again. And to me, that's what life is. Life is a risk. Everything's a risk. And, we're going to have all our failures, but we want to be in a place that we can keep risking and risk again. So it's a pleasure to talk with you today, and thank you so much. And I'm going to turn this off just so we can wait.